Hi, good afternoon, guys. Welcome to my Ruby programming language lesson 11. So far, we have seen many features of Ruby programming language except object-oriented programming, I mean OOP. In fact, Ruby is an easy language with free freestyle format. However, Ruby has another feature having object-oriented programming capability. For the ones who have an idea about, who are familiar with object-oriented programming, just I can say it's OOP, and it uses objects and instances, and it use inheritance, super and subclasses. And for the beginners, for the ones who have no idea about object-oriented programming, just I can say that OOP just functions as a template for the data structures who is repeatedly used. Repeatedly used, and can be used as a template for future use. And if they have a nested structure, so we can use some features, some characteristics of the mother one, so as to inherit, and it is a very useful structure as a summary. And instead of saying in words, I have to show it in my lessons. Here we have come to lesson 10. We have completed lesson 10, and this is lesson 12. And from now on, I will focus on object-oriented programming with examples. In this example, I define a class, its name person, and that's just like this. Here just we can place some codes, any codes, and this is an empty class for the time being. Structure is very easy. You say class, and this starts with uppercase, just as in Java family programming languages. And for example, there is another class here, class car. Here there are some codes and keyword. Okay, let's define something inside a class. Okay, this class is named person. Here I define a method, initialize method, and within this method I use puts command. So puts command will print out hi there string on the screen, and this is the end of this definition. And there is another end keyword. This stands for class person class. Okay, let's make it run and see the result for our class structure. Actually, here we do not do anything, so I have to deactivate this one. And this is another. Okay, that's gonna work right now. we didn't do anything to use this person class. Okay, we have already created a class person, and we have created an initialize method, but we have to create an object for this class. I will show you this in another example here. Okay, in this example, after creating a person class and after defining an initialize method, I use puts command here so as to print out hi there on the screen, and here I use this structure. P1 is the object P of this person class. This new is a method just as a format structure. Here I create the first instance of this class as P1. Once again I create another instance of this class, person class, and I here would like to run. Okay, at the end of the first instance, hi there string is printed out on the screen, and after the second it's gonna print it once again. Just we can say that P1 and P2 are the objects newly created. Sometimes it's called as instances, sometimes it's called objects. Whichever is easy to remember, you can use any of it. Okay, here I define a class. It's named box, and after that, within the frame of this class, I define an initialize method, and it's gonna print out box created. Sorry for that. And here I create an object, so equals to object assigned box.new. New is a method, as you remember. Box is the name of our class. Actually, just focus on here, please. The initialize method is known as constructor in other OOP languages. As far as I remember, in C++, you have to use a constructor so as to initialize a method, so as to use a method. In Ruby, it's very simplified, and you can use it by defining a method, initialize method. Here I create one object, object 1, so I'd like to get it printed once again. Box created. Actually, what is done is that by saying object 1, I recall box class. Okay, and I have to use another thing. I use a new method, so that means please create a new class object or class instance for me, and this stands for it. And within the method, within this method, initialize method, this command will be performed, will be executed. So just when we run this program, this snippet, box created string will be displayed on the screen. Okay, I go on with class structure one more example. As I said, class structure and view is very easy, is very simple and easy in Ruby programming language. Just you define class name, and you place some code here, and this is the end keyword, and you can create any object of this class. Okay, dot new, this is the keyword as a method to make it run. Okay, it is up to you what is going to be here. Okay, and of course there is no result for this silly one. Okay, I here would like to show you instance variables. Actually, when we use this structure, we are creating an instance of our class. Here I create a class, its name person. Okay, this is the method initialize. It accepts one parameter or one argument, name, and this is the structure to use it. Actually, this stands for self in other programming languages. For example, in Python you can use self.name to discriminate it as a variable, and in Ruby this is the keyword for that, at sign, internet at sign, and after that I here would like to print out the content of name, and this is the method definition, and this is the class end. Above at name is an instance variable for the class person, as I said. Okay, now we can create objects of that class and pass an argument to the new method. Okay, just look here. I here create a new person. Okay, and please keep in mind this is an argument, so as to be accepted by user. I say Hasan, my first name. Okay, I create another instance, another object of this class, and the second is Zeki. So let's run and see what is gonna be print out on the screen. Okay, from here I'm creating two instances of this class. The objects, first object is Hasan, and the second object is Zeki. Okay, I go on with class structures, OOP. I here define an animal class, and this is our variable. Age is initialized to 0 at first, and here I define an initialize method. It's going to accept two arguments such as name and age, and at name equals to will be assigned to name, and at age variable is going to assign as age. Okay, this is the end of this method, initialization method, and this is the end of the class. And okay, it's up to us to create an instance of this class right now. Just keep in mind that our class has got one initialization method, and it will accept two parameters. One is a string, okay, the other is a numeric. Okay, when I create this object, okay, actually there is nothing to be print out, but okay, yeah, just I can focus up. Okay, this is going to print out something, I guess. Okay, this is the address of the data. I have to mention other things. Let me show you in our next example. Okay, here I define another class, test class. Initialize, I define Okay, I initialize, I use initialize method num, and this is gonna print out the remaining with remaining division with remaining, and I here create an object of test class by using new method, and I use this argument 9, so 9 will be accepted as num, and is divided by 2 with remaining. So let's see what is going to be print out. Oops. Okay, this one, okay, the same error. Okay, 1 is the remaining after this division. Okay, just as you can see, by creating an object, we can assign an argument value or parameter value. Okay, to here. Okay, 128. Okay, demo 128. I here would like to show you some methods, instance methods. Okay, this is the familiar structure for class. Okay, as you have seen before, define bark, and this is the method. It's gonna print out wolf for dog, and here I create an object of dog by using this method, and d.bark, that means I use this method. Okay, this is the instance. Okay, and this is the method. There are some methods that can be used with instance or object of a class. This is one of them. This could be much more comprehensive, much more sophisticated, but these simple examples might give an idea about class structure, OOP structure, and whenever you are asked to develop much more sophisticated programs, algorithms, you can bear in mind this structure, and you can enrich it so as to meet what it is demanded from you. Okay, after using this bark method with this instance, wolf, as it is expected, just focus here, wolf is printed out on the screen. Okay, let's go on with another example. Here define a class box. Okay, there is one initialization method which is called initialize, and it has two parameters, width and height parameters. So by using this notation, I define our variable. Please keep in mind that this notation must correspond with this one. Okay, what you used for the first parameter, this must go here, go there, and this also go there, and this is the initialization method, and there will come another calculation or some extra stuff definition part. I here use area method. Within area method, there will be a return value. Return value will give the multiplication of width and height. Actually, it's gonna give area in a geometrical manner, and double end, this end for area definition, and this end stands for class definition. Okay, here I create an object first, object 1 will be containing box class with parameters 3 and 5. Okay, 3 will be for width and 5 will be for height. So after assigning object 1, I have to use another method. I have to use this area calculation method. Okay, so after selecting which method you are going to use with your object that you created just before, it is easy now to get the result. Okay, here I simply run our snippet and 3 times 5 equals to 15 and will give us area of our geometry. Just I must mention one thing. This calculation might be, for example, some sort of polynomial equation, for example, and it's gonna accept some coefficients of that polynomial, and for example you are expected to calculate the result of a polynomial, and for example you can calculate the roots of the variables. Just it can give an idea by using these methods and this initialization structure, and using this object instance variables, instance methods. Okay, here I go with 130. Accessors are similar to other keywords in Python or C++ or Java family programming languages. I here just example will be next of this example, this snippet. Just keep in mind that our next example will be about accessors. Okay, I here define another class person, and this is the initialize method. It's gonna accept name, and this is the assignment, and to get name is another method. So I here, after creating an instance of person class by using Hasan, I use get name method to get the content of that variable. Okay, and it's gonna be printed out. Be ready, get ready for accessors for our next snippet. Okay, as it's expected, after using this structure, we use get name method, and Hasan will be printed on the screen. Okay, just as I said, accessors will be defined here. Accessors are setters and getters. I will show you their usage one by one. I here define a person class here, and this is the initialization method. This initialize it, and for the sake of simplicity, I use only one parameter here. This parameter will be assigned as name. What is used here will be repeated like just here. For example, that could be just n, so n will be here. And this is the get name structure. Just we can say it. This is the getter. This is the getter. Okay. And so the variable will be gotten here, and this is the set name method. This is the setter, and yes, at the end of this structure, okay, when you create an instance of this person class, okay, first as you use Hasan as the argument, okay, by means of this set name method, you set the content of this instance so as to be Zeki, and it's going to be printed out by using this get name. So what is printed out on the screen? Just we can run the code and see. Okay, actually we at first created as Hasan, but by means of this method, so we set the content of this instance so as to include Zeki, okay, and this is printed as Zeki, and this structure is going to give an example, can be considered as an example for getter and setters. So far I have I can evaluate that in a Ruby programming language this structure is very easy to understand, as you can see, and easy to use. In fact, it's up to you. It's up to you, of course, which one is better, which one is much more preferable. Okay, let's go our last example for this lesson. I here use person class once again, all the same here up to here, okay. Just I say use this structure here. Just focus on here. We create an instance, an object of person class by using Hasan as argument, okay. Just I recall name method here, okay, name method, and by means of this name method I change it to Zeki, okay. So when we printed out this p.name, so this new instance, what's going to be printed out on the screen? Okay, Zeki will be. There are some explanation here. We use name instead of get name, just as we see in our previous example. We use get name as method, and here we use just name instead of set name, okay. Just we can set name. For me this structure is more easy to understand, and of course you can confuse their functions, but keep in mind that this simple structure will do as it is expected from an OOP, from a class structure. Okay, that's all for the time being, you guys. So far I have shown you some simple, some easy examples of class structure, and from now on in my inventory there are some methods that could be used with object-oriented within object-oriented programming concept. I mean in a class structure, and at the first step, if you do not understand easily, please repeat this lesson once again. Maybe not just this lesson, the next and a previous one you can watch and just have an idea about this class structure. Thanks for your watching me, you guys, and please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. This was the 11th lesson. This Ruby programming lessons will be 13 or 14 of them. I hope you enjoy and you learn some things about Ruby programming language. And thanks for your watching. Thanks for your time. Bye bye.